Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Nutrition for the Mind. And today I wanted to discuss epiphanies and aha moments, which is very spiritual moments to me, magical experiences. And just in case you don't know what epiphanies are, to me, an epiphany is almost like when you have a sense of enlightenment, or like when that light bulb goes off. And there's a few moments I experienced that, and I wanted to make that the topic because as I was getting dressed before I head out, and I'm headed to the gas station right now, and to take care of business on this nice rainy day. It's like scattered rain. But anyway, this idea came up as I was getting dressed and heading out, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a video about it. So here we go. Before I get started, I hope everybody's day is going out great, starting out positive. Even if you're not on the best or feel your best at the moment, just know this too shall pass and something grand and great will come out of it eventually. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so I want to list some of my epiphanies I've experienced before. So one of the earliest first aha moments that I can remember is when I was in, I want to say 8th grade, and I was in algebra class. I believe it was algebra at the time. In 7th grade, to give a backstory, I was just thrown into advanced program. And I remember I was in pre-algebra, and the highest grade I got was a B, barely a B, but on average it was C's, because it was new to me, and I did not know how I got into the program, because I had went from intermediate school to middle school, and intermediate school, I was just in a regular class, and then in middle school, I was just thrown into advanced program, and ever since then, middle and high school, I always been in advanced programs. So 7th grade, I was struggling. I did not understand the concept of pre-algebra for the life of me. I would get help constantly and ask two people that was like smarter than me at the time. And I remember I just kept feeling like a failure. So the next year, I was in algebra class. So I went from pre-algebra to algebra. And I remember Miss Joseph. It was like the beginning of the school year. And within that first month, I remember Miss Joseph. She said, think of it as money. And she said, if you have $20, I'm just using an example. I forgot which specific example she gave, but I'm just gonna create one. But she was like, if you have $20, so that's a positive, and you already owe 13, so negative 13. Once you give that $20 and pay off that 13 you have, then how much you have? That leaves you $7, which is positive. So if you were to reverse it and you owe $20, which is negative 20, and you all you have is 13, which is positive 13, then what is the outcome? That means you still owe $7, which is negative 7. And when I tell you, I remember in class, it was like a rush. You feel it's very angelic. You can feel it. It's very spiritual. And I remember I was like, I get it. I understood it to the point I ended up being nominated the top mathematics male out of the whole entire 8th grade that year. They had gave me a trophy just by that one little snippet that Miss Joseph had gave. It really opened like a portal, like to my understanding in algebra. And that's one of my favorite melt subjects, to be honest. It's algebra. I love everything about it. It makes sense. I even feel like you can it relates to life. Like the more positive you have more positive and less negative, the outcome will equal positive. If you have if you have less positive and a lot of negative, the outcome can equal a negative. And then a negative plus a negative will equal a greater negative. It just makes sense. I was like, wow, but that was one of my biggest epiphanies. Another epiphany that I had, and this one I was struggling, dealing with, and living with my mom in my early 20s after I had dropped out of college. I remember to me, she was a provoker. She did not know when I used to walk away, she would follow because she wanted, I felt like she wanted a resolution, and she wanted things to operate her way and you to fold. And I would walk away and try to avoid, and she didn't get the memo. So I remember I went to the library with my aunt Trellis, with an aunt of mine. She loved to read. Her favorite book series were romance novels and 50 Shades of Grey, and I did not know that. Now it makes sense. She always mentioned Seattle, that her dream was to go to Seattle, and kind of found out 50 Shades of Grey was based in Seattle. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. My aunt, she took me to the library, and I remember I had got this book by Desmond Tutu. I believe that's how you say it, Tutu, Desmond Tutu. And it's called The Book of Forgiveness. And when I tell you, I read the book, like the first couple of chapters, I had the biggest epiphany that I have never used the word forgiveness. And I never thought to forgive myself ever. Ever. When I said that was a life-changing moment for me in so many ways, it was like one of the most beautiful, magical moments ever in my life. Because I said I have never, and it was never talked about in my family. I never saw or heard anybody say, oh, they say forgive other people, and especially religion, that forgive others. I have never heard anybody say, oh, and it's also important for you to forgive yourself. And I feel like they're both equally important. And the Book of Forgiveness by Desmond Tutu, I mean, it alleviated so many stressors, so many insecurities that I was suffering with, so many unforgiveness that I had lingering in my energy field and in my thoughts and my psyche. And I'm telling you, it was just, I remember that moment like it was yesterday. I was like, I don't think I ever used forgiveness ever in the past, ever. And then I don't think I ever even imagined hey, it's important to forgive yourself. And if you could take away anything from this, yes, learn to forgive yourself. It's imperative. That's one way to help accelerate you on your journey to move forward and to grow and to evolve, is forgiveness. And another thing I learned about forgiveness is forgiveness doesn't mean you forget. Forgiveness is it's like some science to this ish. It's best to remove, especially when somebody have done something to you, somebody said things to you that was disheartening and condescending and just so belittling and negative. Sometimes you can allow it to replay in your head over and over again. And I've seen this happen several times. The person that has said these things and did these things to you has moved on. But yet you let in what somebody said to you, or what somebody not say you let in, but it is you letting if you think of it in the long run. But what somebody has done to you, it just circulating in your energy field, in your thoughts, and it's low-key eating you up and preventing you from moving forward in your life especially when you did nothing wrong. Yes, you probably played a part just by being there. At the same time, this happened to me several times too. Like, damn, like I asked a question, you went off, and it made me second guess everything, my reality. And what I learned is forgiveness is forgive the situation, forgive it, and practice removing any of those thoughts, especially if it keeps going on and repeating in your head. Practice removing it out of your energy field, out of your thoughts, because each moment, each day is precious and it's a new day. And once you learn to forgive yourself and forgive others, for they know not what they do, even the stupid ones, it doesn't mean you got to go back ever or fellowship ever, but this is a way to move forward. I promise you, your heart will open up and you will start receiving more abundance. You'll feel much lighter, because a lot of unforgiveness can weigh heavy on your, people say, on your heart, on your spirit, and your mind, especially when you brush it under the carpet. It's best to face it and say, you know what, I experienced this. It was unfortunate, but I learned a valuable lesson. Let me remove myself from this individual permanently or temporarily, and I'm gonna remove it. And each time it try to pop up, say, I'm aware you popping up, negative thought. At the same time, I'm sending you to the light. You're not welcome here. It's like some science to this shit. But eventually, once you become immune to, okay, removing negative thoughts and forgiving things that people do that you have no control over, that's when you really learn to protect your energy. But anyway, I just wanted to share those two epiphanies, and please share any epiphanies, aha moments, light bulb moments that you have experienced. And I might do a part 2 in the future, because I have had many more. And on that note, originate, create, authenticate, do not memorize or plagiarize. Please just naturalize your journey, your situation, and have a great day.